Welcome to the weekly weather briefing from the National Weather Service in Spokane for Monday, July 27th, 2015. The pattern will be changing this period, transitioning from a cool and showery pattern to hot and dry. For the rest of this afternoon and evening, we are looking for scattered showers and thunderstorms and some breezy conditions. As these abate and we cool off tonight, we may see some patchy fog. Thereafter, from Wednesday to Sunday, things dry out and get hotter. But we will have to watch for some isolated thunderstorms late this week approaching from the south. Here is an overview of the current pattern with a satellite image from this morning. Point 1 indicates the system currently over the Pacific Northwest, a deep and cool and unstable upper trough. The dashed black lines show disturbances embedded in the flow around it. This system will pass through this afternoon and evening, providing the showers and thunderstorms and breezy conditions. I will get into more specifics in a moment. Point 2 shows a system coming in from British Columbia. This will track southeast and skim the Washington-Idaho border late tonight into Tuesday. There is the off chance it could bring some additional isolated thunderstorms near the Canadian border Tuesday afternoon, but otherwise conditions will be dry as the pattern begins to change. That change will consist of the low pressure trough over the Pacific Northwest moving toward eastern Canada and the Great Lakes, while high pressure over Texas, indicated by point 3, migrates towards the Four Corners by late this week, starting our warming trend. Now, getting a little more specific for this afternoon and evening, here is an image of the overall shower and thunderstorm threat. The risk will be highest toward over the far eastern third of Washington and the Idaho Panhandle, the area shaded in red. Scattered to locally numerous storms are possible in the region. A smaller threat will be found farther west, in the yellow shaded areas, with isolated to locally scattered showers and thunderstorms possible. The threat will be highest before sunset, or about 8 p.m. Thereafter, the main risk shifts towards the Panhandle and ends going into the overnight. A few could be stronger, with locally heavy downpours, mainly small hail and some wind gusts of 40 miles per hour. In general, rain amounts will be less than 1/10 of an inch, but locally heavier storms could produce around 1/4 inch of rain or so. So here's a look at the wind speed forecast. This image shows the speeds for this evening. For most areas, winds are expected to be in the 5 to 15 miles per hour range, before decreasing after sunset. The highest sustained winds are expected toward the lee of the Cascades in western Columbia Basin, with speeds in the 15 to 25 mile per hour range. These are expected to take a little longer to decrease, but still should generally drop to 10 miles per hour or less overnight. With the rains that fall this afternoon, followed by decreasing winds and high pressure starting to move in overnight, and relatively cool air mass, we are looking for at least a chance of fog late tonight into Tuesday morning. The threat will come between 11 p.m. and 9 a.m., though the overall best threat develops between 3 a.m. and 9 a.m. The areas shaded in the gray on the map show where we currently forecast fog to be. Here is a look at the late week pattern. The main jet stream, or storm track, lifts just north of our region, keeping us generally dry. The monsoonal flow developing around the Four Corners High may bring isolated thunderstorms towards southern Washington and the lower Idaho Panhandle as early as Friday afternoon and through the weekend. However, the westerly flow is expected to keep the better threats south of the region. Over the next 7 days, the general forecast trend for Wenatchee shows the warm-up that is expected. Today, temperatures are below normal, but by Wednesday, valleys push back above normal and continue to remain above normal into the weekend. And while we have been relatively moist, it won't take too long for things to dry out. By Wednesday afternoon, relative humidity values are forecast to be near 10%. Luckily, at this time, we are not seeing very strong winds, so the fire weather concerns in this respect are not high. Spokane's 7-day forecast trend shows similar trends, with temperatures pushing above normal through the week and the relative humidity plummeting. Winds generally are expected to remain near or below 10 miles per hour. Lastly, onto the 8 to 14 day outlook. The Climate Prediction Center is calling for above normal temperatures, with a near to slightly above normal threat of precipitation, with the highest threat towards southeast Washington and the Idaho Panhandle. Please monitor our forecasts through the week for updates. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Thank you for tuning in to this weekly weather briefing.